continue on a little more about how the muscle fibers work, we've already discussed a little about aerobic and anaerobic, but different muscle fibers have different preferences of how they work. You have some that are called fast oxidative fibers. Now, fast oxidative fibers have large diameter fibers. They will very quickly contract, but very quickly fatigue. So these are great for fast events. Think if you're a sprinter, for example. Something that's very quick and to the point, but over quickly. Because they have few mitochondria, they're mostly aerobic, but can switch to anaerobic, but really they're meant to be fast, done, and over. They're not meant for endurance. They're powerful, but they're only powerful for that short duration until they fatigue. So these fast oxidative, fast to get tension, fast to fatigue, large diameter, mostly aerobic, but can go to anaerobic a little bit. The opposite side is slow oxidative fibers. Now these fibers are usually thinner, smaller. They're a little bit slower to generate tension, but they pretty much are fatigue resistant. These are the ones that are more helping with your core stability. If you're walking using these muscles, the ones that just keep on going over and over and over and don't really just fatigue out and die out. So these are the slow oxidative fibers. Now these are allowing for long, prolonged contractions. They can keep going over and over again. Many mitochondria, a lot of capillaries, aerobic metabolism, because they keep using oxygen. Because they are smaller and because these are slower to respond, they're not really going to have that maximal contraction causing pinching of the blood vessels. So these are staying on the aerobic side using oxygen. So fast and slow oxidative. The third type is fast glycolytic. Now, fast glycolytic is going to seem very similar to fast oxidative. They both have large diameter. They both reach their tension, high tension quickly. They both fatigue very quickly. The differences lie here. This one is fatiguing faster than the other two together. So even the fast oxidative, while it fatigues quickly, fast glycolytic is even faster. This one very quickly fatigues. Primarily anaerobic is the process here. It means we're not even using oxygen. So it's not very efficient at the ATP production. One of the reasons why it can fatigue so quickly, it can't get energy. So this fast glycolytic is definitely a very short duration thing. Sprinters example. So that fast oxidative, fast glycolytic, great for sprinters. They'll have higher amounts. But if you're a marathon runner, you want the slow oxidative. So different amounts of these fibers are found in different individuals. So those world champion marathon runners, if you look at their fiber composition, there's more slow oxidative there. The Olympic level sprinters, there's a whole lot more fast oxidative and fast glycolytic there in those individuals. So it really depends on what fibers are present as far as how they're functioning also. Well, disorder a little bit here. Muscle cramp. Now, muscle cramps are simply annoying, to put it simply. Sustained spasm, sustained tectonic contraction. The idea is the muscle just freezes in place. It doesn't move. This can be for a couple seconds, which is mildly annoying or just a little painful, but it can last for up to hours and hours of time. Now, I'm hoping you've never dealt with a several hour-long cramp, because that is not pleasant. But these cramps, the muscle kind of locks up, you can't really use it. Sometimes you can kind of try to push through it and loosen it back up, but other times it really just seizes up and you can't do anything about it. Well, a lot of times they're at night or towards the end of an exercise routine. What do those two have in common? Night and exercise routine? Well, think about the causes. Low blood sugar. After a night's sleep, you haven't been eating anything all night, your blood sugar is decreasing. Towards the end of an exercise, you've been using all that glucose, blood sugar is decreasing. Lower electrolytes. You really haven't been ingesting anything while sleeping. While working out, you might have been ingesting something, but you're sweating and you're losing electrolytes at a high rate. for a heavy exercise, I should say. Dehydration, same thing. Drinking overnight, not too often. Drinking during exercise, maybe, but you're still going to be sweating and losing a lot of fluid. So all three of those are the more common features of how a cramp occurs. And that's why both after sleep as well as after exercise this can occur. So how do you try to prevent that? Stay hydrated, keep your electrolytes up. Make sure you have enough energy in your system. If you're saying, well, hold on, that's going to bed, you can't really eat. No, it's about eating and spacing out throughout the day, making sure you have enough balanced nutrients throughout the day, having the electrolytes, having the fluid, having the blood, the actual sugar and energy sources. Because all these add up through the day to help you sustain through the night. For an exercise, if you're exercising or playing sports, you're making sure that you're eating healthily leading up to it and fluids. And then depending on the duration of that exercise or the sporting event, you might need to have some extra add-ons during the time. Just a little boost to your system. The last one, irritability of the spinal nerves. This can cause a cramp simply because if you pinch that nerve coming out of the spine, those signals are having problems heading down to the muscle. Not the most common by any means, usually the first three, but this is a way it can occur as well. So cramps. Spasms. This is a sudden involuntary twitch. You weren't thinking about moving a limb. You weren't thinking about making a movement. It just moved without you thinking about it. And a lot of times, this is also based on those same chemical imbalances. Imbalance of hydration, imbalance of electrolytes, imbalance of blood glucose. And you say, well, chemical imbalances, those are all chemicals. Because glucose is still a chemical. It's made up of carbonates, hydrogens, oxygens. Water, H2O. Electrolytes, sodium, potassium, chloride. So yes, those are all chemicals. So any of those imbalances can cause this problem. And a lot of times, this might be more irritating if you ever had your eye kind of twitch a little bit. That's looking at your little spasm. If you ever pulled a muscle or had a muscle strain, now this covers a very large range of different things. But generally speaking, it's usually from excessive stretching, maybe get some tearing in there. But your muscles are elastic in nature. They're going to stretch a little bit, but they have limitations. Think about a rubber band. Can you simply just take a rubber band and pull? No, it's eventually going to snap. That's the idea of the muscle. You can only have it stretched so far before it starts to say, hey, this is too much, and it's a pull, it's a strain. Sometimes as that gets a little too far, it might cause small tears in the muscle as well. So it could be little tears, could be excessive stretching, could be a combination of the two that's causing a pulled muscle. But pretty much 99% of the time, a pulled muscle is because you've overused and abused it. If you're within your body's limits, then usually you won't have to worry about pulled muscle. The pulled muscle is because you end up trying to do a little too much, or you had too large of a range of motion. Maybe if you're out walking out in the middle of winter and you hit the ice and you slide a little bit, the legs kind of splay. You can pull a muscle because it stretched more than you weren't expecting. So it's usually something that is unexpected, something that was a little beyond what you're planning for, what your body is capable of doing. So a strain. So the ways the muscle fibers work and some disorders with it, or some problems with it maybe. From spasms to pulled muscles. Not the end of the world, but some things that could be potentially avoided in some cases. About trying to watch how the body works and condition the body